You ever hit that weird point in your business where everyone thinks you're killing it, but your bank account is basically a scoreboard of bad decisions? Yeah, that phase. The one where you've got employees, orders, momentum, maybe even a little hype. But behind the scenes, you're calculating whether you can stretch what's left in the account until Friday. That's the broke phase no one warns you about. Not the broke from starting a business. That's expected. That's romantic. That's the kind of broke that gets motivational quotes written about it. I'm talking about the second broke, the one that shows up after you've already made it. After your friends start asking for discounts because you own your own business. After your family brags about you at Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, you're silently praying payroll clears. That's the one that humbles the hell out of you. And I've done it. I thought I made it. Thought Perch Merch was growing. Empire Painting was steady. I'd convinced myself I was officially a real entrepreneur, the kind that gets involved in charity golf tournaments and posts those humble brag LinkedIn updates. Then the bills hit. Suppliers wanted deposits, payroll ballooned, and we have clients that paid slow. Not all of them, but suddenly I was the proud owner of what I now call a thriving debt museum. One morning I'm driving to the shop, checked my balance, $73. Not 7,300, not 73,000, just 73. And you know what I did? I bought a frozen coffee. Because if I'm going broke, at least I'm going down caffeinated. I've already been through the first broke phase many times. I've been through bankruptcy. I've been through plasma donations. The God, please just let me keep the lights on prayers. But this is a new broke, right? It hits different. Because this time I had something to lose. Employees, equipment, clients who trusted me, a wife who believed in me. This time it wasn't about starting a business, it was about keeping it. People think momentum fixes everything. They'll tell you, once you get some traction, it'll get easier. That's a lie. Momentum doesn't solve problems, it makes them bigger. You used to stress over a $500 invoice? Cool. Now it's a $50,000 invoice. You used to worry about one employee showing up late? Now you're juggling 15 employees and a guy who forgot what day it was. Growth magnifies everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. And that's when the broke phase sneaks back in. Because to grow, you have to spend. New hires, new gear, new systems, but the return takes time. So, while everyone sees the shiny version, the new van wrap, the upgraded equipment, the Instagram posts that scream, "We're busy," you're sitting there doing math in your head like an accountant with a gambling problem. If this client pays by Thursday and that check clears by Friday, I can pay the vendor Monday. That's the broke phase. And it's not failure. It's the toll between small and sustainable. There were days I didn't think I'd make it through. You ever lie in bed staring at the ceiling fan, praying God will send you a sign? Something, anything. Sometimes the sign is the struggle. When you pray for growth, God doesn't hand you success. He hands you problems that build it. So yeah, maybe the account's empty, maybe you're stretched thin, and maybe that's where he's teaching you to operate on faith instead of fear. That doesn't mean sit back and hope checks magically appear. This isn't a Hallmark movie. It means doing the work anyway, sending the invoices anyway, making the calls anyway. Faith without grind is just wishful thinking. And here's the part no guru will admit. The broke phase will make you do math like you're negotiating a hostage release. I've literally been in QuickBooks like, if I move this to that, delay that until Monday, maybe, just maybe I can pretend I'm still a functioning adult. Meanwhile, your accountant's talking about cash flow management strategies, and you're like, bro, I just need gas in the company vehicle. This is the side of entrepreneurship nobody wants to post about. It's not pretty, it's not Instagram friendly, but it's the part that separates the real ones from the wannapreneurs. Everyone can look successful for a season, but surviving the broke phase, that's where real entrepreneurs are built. When you hit this stage, it's easy to panic and think you're doing something wrong. You're not. You're just in it. Every time your business grows, your cash flow has to catch up. You're front-loading an investment before the return hits. And that's why the broke phase always feels like a contradiction. You're doing more work, making more sales, building a bigger brand, and somehow you have less money. That's because you're reinvesting, you're buying the next level. And one thing I've noticed is the bigger the client, the longer it takes them to pay. That doesn't show up in your bank account right away. It shows up in better systems, stronger people, tighter margins, and eventually stability. But to get there, you have to stop confusing broke with broke in. Broke means you're spending everything you've got on the thing you believe in. Broke in means you've given up. Don't confuse the two. There was a day I almost quit. I sat in my truck outside the shop for an hour. No radio, no phone, just me and that gut sinking feeling like maybe I'm not cut out for this anymore. And I swear, in that silence, I heard it. Not a voice, but that quiet conviction that said, get up, you're not done. You have to fight for this. So I walked inside, went back to work. Faith doesn't remove the valley, it gives you the strength to walk through it. All right, let's shift from story to strategy, because if you're still watching, you're not here for therapy, you want tactics, right? So this is the actual kind of stuff I walk business owners through every week inside $0 coaching. And I'm not talking executive coaching or corporate buzzwords. I'm a small business life coach. We talk about real numbers, real stress, and how to actually move the needle without burning out or going broke. If you ever want help with this for your business, the link and a free mini audit is in my bio. There, got that out of the way. Okay, number 1, prioritize income producing activities. We call them IPAs. Every morning, before you check email, before you doom scroll, before you convince yourself you need a new logo, reach out to 10 potential clients. I call them IPAs, right? Income producing activities. 10 outreaches a day changed my business. There's a whole episode on it. 10 a day for 30 days can change your life. Number 2, cut emotional expenses, not strategic ones. You don't need another subscription, another course, or another random tool because the guy on TikTok promised it'll 10 times your revenue. Keep what moves the needle. Kill the rest. Number 3, speed up cash flow, right? Bill faster, collect faster, reward prepayments. So like we do this at Perch Merch. Obviously, we always want paid up front. For bigger corporate clients, that's just not how it works. But we will bill the second we get the quote approved. Not when we start production, not in the middle of production, not when they get the goods. We bill the second that quote is approved, and they want us to start making it. Right? Because if I waited until after they had all of their merch, I'd still be waiting another 30 to 60 days after that to get paid. Where just get it in the system, because it goes to probably 5 different people before you finally get a check. And then yes, reward prepayment. So we do that as well. It's like 2% off if you pay now. And then the reward prepayment, you can give 2 to 5% off if they prepay. I started offering small discounts for clients who paid in full. You'd be shocked how many said yes. Number 4, communicate with your team. They don't need every number, but they do need the mission. A team that understands why you're tightening belts will grind harder than the ones you kept in the dark. If they have no idea there's a problem, they're not going to try to help you fix it. Number 5, stop comparing chapters. You're not behind, you're just in the middle. And the middle looks messy for everyone. They just filter it before posting. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The broke phase isn't a detour. It's the main road. Every successful entrepreneur you look up to, they've been here. They just don't talk about it because humility doesn't get clicks. But this phase is where grit gets forged. It's where you learn to build something sustainable. It's where you realize faith, discipline, and consistency beat hype every time. One day, you'll look back and realize this was the season that made you unstoppable. So if you're in it, if the numbers don't add up and you're questioning everything, remember, you're not failing, you're forging. Keep building, keep believing, keep showing up, because the broke phase isn't the end, it's the test. And if you can stay faithful through it, the next one's not broke, it's breakthrough. Ever notice nobody posts about the in-between? We love before and after stories, the garage startup, then the private jet. But the middle, that's the part where your card declines at Home Depot while you're trying to buy zip ties for a job that will eventually pay. Real life story. And that's where most people quit. Not because they lack skill, because the silence gets too loud. The broke phase will make you question your calling. It'll make you wonder if maybe God dialed the wrong number when he picked you for this. The broke phase isn't punishment, it's preparation. When everything's tight, you start hearing things clearly. You learn what matters. You stop pretending. And if you pay attention, that season becomes the best business coach you'll ever have. Here's what only the broke learn. Cash flow is louder than revenue. I used to brag about sales. Now I brag about collections, right? Sales are ego. Cash is oxygen. Second, you can't outsource discipline. There's no software, no hire, no consultant that'll do your daily work for you. Nobody's coming to save you. And that's the most freeing realization you can have. Third, gratitude multiplies stamina. It's hard to burn out when you're consistently thanking God for the chance to keep trying. even when it's ugly, even when it's late, especially then. I met another business owner once. Nice office, nice truck, whole I'm crushing it vibe. Halfway through, he leans in and goes, "Man, can I be honest? I haven't paid myself in 3 months." And I'm just like, yeah, same, bro. Like, not because it was funny, but because finally someone said it out loud. We were both broke but growing, drinking $4 coffees like two undercover millionaires. That's when it hit me. Nobody actually has it figured out. Some are just better at hiding the panic. Most small businesses don't die from competition. They die from confusion. They chase too many ideas, hire too fast, try to scale chaos. I've done all three. At one point, I had more software subscriptions than clients. When you're broke, focus becomes survival. You start asking, what actually makes money today? If the answer doesn't involve a paying customer, it's probably a distraction. Here's a 15-minute morning routine that saved my business, right? Step 1, sit down with caffeine, no phone, just your notebook. Write down 3 IPAs, those income producing activities, calls, follow-ups, quotes, proposals, anything that creates cash, right? Step 3, do these 3 things before lunch. That's it. Don't redesign your logo. Don't reorganize your inbox. Do the IPAs. Motion isn't progress, revenue is. The fear says, what if this doesn't work? But faith says, what if it does? When I started bringing God back into my business, it didn't magically fill the bank account, but it filled me with peace. And that changed how I led. I stopped making panic decisions, stopped saying yes to bad clients just to make rent, started trusting that if I stayed faithful in the small stuff, he'd handle the rest. And somehow, he always does. If you've got a team, listen up. Leadership isn't pretending everything's perfect. It's being real without spreading panic. I tell my crew, we're tightening things up right now, but we're doing it for a reason. And then I show them wins, every single small one. A new client, a repeat order, a good review. Hope is contagious, but so is fear. Your team catches whatever you're carrying. When I was younger, success meant numbers, revenue, followers, square footage. Now it means peace. Being able to go home without a knot in my stomach. Knowing my family's okay. Knowing my employees can feed theirs. Peace is the real profit. Here's the short version of the broke face playbook I wish I had had. Audit everything monthly. If it doesn't make dollars, cut it. Automate collections. Stop chasing payments manually. Sell the repeatables, right? Products or services that require the least creativity and the most consistencies. Build partnerships. Leverage other small businesses. Trade exposure. Share audiences. Celebrate small wins weekly. It keeps your brain from spiraling into I suck mode. Pray daily, out loud, for wisdom, not shortcuts. Follow up faster. The fortune's not in the funnel, it's in the follow up. If you ever want help mapping this out, what your version of these 7 steps looks like, that's what I do at $0 coaching. It's not fancy, it's not expensive, it's just small business owners like us getting unstuck together. You can grab your free mini audit using the link in the bio, and let's see where we can find money you're leaving on the table. The list costs $0 to implement, which is good news because if you're still watching this episode, you probably have $0. Here's the paradox. When you finally get comfortable being broke, that's when you stop staying there. And I'm dead serious because broke teaches discipline. Broke teaches gratitude. Broke teaches you and builds systems instead of chasing miracles. Once those lessons stick, the money follows every time. It's almost like God saying, I had to make sure that you'd still trust me when the balance hit 0. Because if you can trust me then, I can trust you with more, right? 6 months after my worst stretch, when every bill felt like a final exam, things started turning. Not because I landed a miracle client, but because I kept moving. We doubled down on follow-up. We systemized outreach. We built relationships instead of transactions. I'm going to say that again. We built relationships instead of transactions. And slowly, the tide shifted. I didn't see it then, but the broke phase had trained us. We became efficient, scrappy, disciplined. Those habits stayed even after the money returned. That's how you build something that lasts. So, if you're sitting in your truck or your desk wondering how the hell you're supposed to keep going, I see you. I've been there. Hell, I am you. You're not alone. You're not a failure. You're just in the middle of your miracle. Keep showing up. Keep believing in the thing that got you started. Keep trusting that the broke phase isn't permanent. It's proof you're investing in something bigger than comfort. Because one day you'll tell your own version of this story, and someone else will hear it and realize they're not done either. So, yeah, the broke phase sucks. It's exhausting, embarrassing. It tests your faith, your marriage, your sanity, but it also sharpens you. It humbles you. It prepares you for the rooms you're not ready to walk into yet. The broke phase is where you become the kind of leader who can handle abundance without losing their soul. So keep your head up, do the IPAs, pray, and if you're tired of trying to figure this out solo, you don't have to. I built $0 coaching for this exact thing. It's affordable, it's real, and it's made for business owners who just need a guide that actually gets it. Hit the link in the bio, grab your free mini audit, or book a coaching call with me. We'll get your business moving forward again, one $0 strategy at a time. And remember, broke is temporary, faith is forever. I'm Chris Beecham, and this is $0 Marketing, where we build businesses with more grit than budget and more faith than fear. So, see you on the next one.